Phase-Ibility, another word, just like geographicality, coming to you today. And here we go. So, feasibility. This is something that, as if you follow me, or if you've been following any of my posts over the last couple of weeks, I'm starting to talk a lot about this idea and my dislike, my dissatisfaction, and my disbelief in these New Year's resolutions. Um, Reason being is not to obviously be an ass to anyone, but I just think the amount of studies that we have, the amount of information that we have about the feasibility or the long-term impact of New Year's resolutions. Obviously, been talking a lot about it because we know that these ideas and these big goals, these big dreams, these big things that we all have as salespeople, as we walk as humans, as we walk into the new year, fizzles out about the second or third week. Well, here we are, second week of January. Some of you have probably had them fizzle out. But what I'd like to do is I'd like to share something with you. If you did create these resolutions, if you did, create the big goals that are kind of 2, 3, 5 years out. Don't get me wrong; these are awesome things to have, and I think everybody should have them. I also think that New Year's isn't the time to create them because of all the other added pressures that's put on us just based on. However, um, one thing I have learned in progression from kind of September till December. For those of you who don't know, I was sick last year. So when you get sick with an illness like I had, it really puts a whole lot of things into perspective. And not only does it put things into perspective, you then start creating and really coming to a different level. And it's neither good nor bad based on where you are. It's not what I'm trying to say, but you come to a different level of goal achievement, a different level of understanding what you want, what the legacy you want in your life is, how you want you and your family to live. And unfortunately, I believe that sometimes we have to go through these major, major issues in life for us to realize what we really want or get off our ass and actually start doing something. And I can tell you, prior to this, I was a very productive guy. Um, through the years I've been in logistics, very productive, but nothing has been the way my mindset has been for the last kind of 7 months. And so in my education and in my pursuit of getting 10 levels above where I am and where I want to be, I started coming across a lot of my old mentors. So I'm back to my old mentors, my old coaches. And this one idea of feasibility came out. And I've really started implementing it probably over the last 2 months, and it's working like gangbusters. So I don't know about you guys. Look at the situation like this, right? You have this big goal, right? You have this big dream, and it's say 6 months to a year for you to really accomplish that dream. Now, let me ask you this question. How many of you have started to wake up a month or two down the line, lost the drive, lost the energy, lost the ambition, lost the motivation, lost the dedication to achieve that? I think we can all raise our hand to that. I think we could all really put ourselves in that position because we've all been there. We've all had this burst of energy when we get this big idea or this creation in our mind. I'm going to go out and I'm going to sell like this. After a couple of weeks of selling like that, it's like it's kind of like Groundhog Day again, and over. And we just get into these mindsets that lack productivity, where we start burning out, or we say, "Oh, I'm burning out. I need a vacation," or any of this stuff. And don't get me wrong, I don't think vacations are wrong. But what I want to get more to you today and really share with you is the impact of this idea of feasibility as it impacted me. So I looked at it, and the first thing my coach said was, he says, take your 2-year goal or even your year goal and break it down into months, because you can break those months down into weeks and start phasing out those projects. So instead of saying, okay, in 12 months, I want X, it said, okay, if you want X in 12 months, how do you phase that into the next 12 months? What is the buildup? And so the perfect example is for all of you that are coming into this year saying, you know what, like I want to double my numbers. I want a better year than I had last year. I want X, Y, Z, whatever the goal is. Have you looked at January, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December phasing of that goal? And here's why I ask you that, because as you know, if your pipeline is not super full, and not only super full, but super full with extremely hot leads that are going to close in the next X amount of time. I'm talking 30 days, maybe 20 days, maybe 45 days, maybe 60 days, then you can very quickly get behind on the goals. So phasing out your big goals, your big dreams, your big aspirations means, what am I going to do in the next 30 days? Hell, what am I even going to do in the next 2 weeks that's going to really move this project along? Then what am I going to do in the next 2 weeks that moves this project along? What am I going to do in the next 30 days that move this project along? And you see, and what you're doing is you're creating those dopamine hits every 2 weeks to 30 days to keep you motivated towards your goal. Now, it's just a simple hack, but the simplicity of it, I mean, common sense isn't always common practice, right? We all know that. And our ability to maintain that drive is everything. So even if you start putting into phase-ability where you're saying, okay, I'm going to start integrating an hour a day for the next 2 weeks to just sell by myself. I haven't been able to do it in 2023. I haven't been able to just shut the world out and just sell. Like maybe you're finding all sorts of distractions coming in. So what I'm going to do for the first week is I'm going to put 30 minutes or an hour, and I'm just going to block myself somewhere to sell. So whether that's if you're at an office and you find people are always bugging you, put a note on your door, just do not disturb, whatever the case may be. Close your blinds, even close your lights. Just so people, if people are walking down the hall, they look, your lights are off. They're like, oh, you're not even there, and they won't even come near your office, kind of thing. Like just think of things outside the box to do. Um, and then start with that hour. But at the end of the week, you can look at it and you could say, damn, this is good. I'm getting there. I blocked 5 hours this week. Next week, I'm going to go for 7, or next week, I'm going to go for 10. And then you start phasing up your goals. So if you were to break a year-long goal out, you look at January, February, and even March and say to yourself, okay, what if I stay as quo in these first 3 months? To double my numbers means in the last 9 months of the year, I need X amount of productivity. In order to get X amount of productivity or X amount of leads that are hot, what do I need to do now to get that base? So that's what I'm talking about, phasing it, right? Your goal at the end of this year, say you've done $500,000 in GP in 2023, your goal is $1 million in 2024. So looking at it and saying, okay, if I phase out the first quarter, really build an unbelievable pipeline of really qualified prospects that I know are gonna work with me. So you take your quarter to do that. It's kinda like Lincoln said, where they said, if you had an hour to cut down a tree, it was like, where they said, if you had an hour to cut down a tree, what would you do? He said, "I'd sharpen my axe for 55 minutes." Right? So he phased cutting a tree down into 2 phases. 1, sharpening his axe till it was razor sharp, and 2, cutting the tree down. So how are you sharpening your axe before you start trying to cut the tree down? It's a big question. And it's that feasibility that gives you that internal drive, that internal motivation, that internal desire to keep going. Because that desire is the only thing that's going to stop you from reaching your goals. Right? Sorry, let me rephrase that. One of the biggest things that will stop you from reaching, you still need to associate it to a why. You still need your frameworks. You still need your processes. You still need your systems. You still need your automation. You automate, delegate. There's some the other things you need, but the starting point is that feasibility, because you can have all the systems in the world, you can have all the tools, you can have all, if you don't have the desire, if you don't have that dopamine hit where, or that ability to track and say, how much further have I really got in the last 30 days? So you can sit down at the end of January and go, holy crap, like I'm pretty far along for where I wanted to be. That's amazing. I'm very proud of myself. So even though in a P&L or in a report, a weekly report, you might not see very much movement, you can look at your activities, your tasks associated with your big project, your big 5 moves, and you could say, man, so far along. Like I look at this week, we got a very big week this week inside both Bridger and HPLS. And I'm looking at it. And yesterday I'm looking down and I'm looking at my calendar and I'm saying, okay, th- I kind of added a conversation in my head to my weekly calendar. And I hope this makes sense to you. So I looked at it and I said, okay, here's my big things that I got to accomplish this week. Here's all the moves inside of this. Here's all the tasks inside of the moves. With that, what am I not feeling energized about? What am I not feeling like I've got the oomph, like I'm ready to go? And I started looking at that. And I go, okay, this piece here, I don't. Why? And then what I do is I go back to last week, the week before that, week before that, and I look for that specific piece. Yes, I did. Yeah. Oh, you know what? Like, yeah, I might look at it because I forgot about all those really amazing things that I did to create that piece and where it is today. So that's what I'm talking about phase-ability. Having that tracking process, being able to look at it and each week, even write in your journal, this is what I was very excited about this week. And this is what happened. And this is what I accomplished. And this is the results. And this is my mindset on it. Because in 3 weeks from now, that phase-ability might also be done and gone out of your mind, but at least you can look back and say, okay, yeah, no, you know what, I am each week I'm progressing it, and you can sit back at the end of the month and read your 4, 5, 6, 8, however many journal entries or calendar entries you have, and you say, oh my god, that's a super cool thing that I did. I actually accomplished that, because we forget too often. So that's my strategy for y'all. I'm going to try to keep a lot of these sessions to the 15-minute mark. Just thinking that it's probably more consumable for y'all. So we're going to kind of stick to one strategy, one topic. When we have guests on, they'll probably be around 30 minutes. But when it's just me, I'm thinking I'm just going to hit some serious hardcore strategy, hardcore tools, one idea per show, and let you run with that. So the idea for today, again, phase-ability, break down your goals into these bite-sized chunks. And if it's a daily thing for you because you need a daily dopamine hit towards your goals, then break it out daily. Do what you need to do to get the energy, momentum, joy, and just that massive motivation every day when you get up in order to achieve your goals. And again, a lot of that depreciation of it, a lot of the fizzling of that comes with us not tracking the overall performance and what's happening. Even if it's health, I'll go through one more scenario with you here before I let you go. Even if it's your health, like track what you eat, track what it does with your mindset, track your gym time, track your energy levels, right? So at the beginning of week one, if you're like, I did 20 minutes on the treadmill or 20 minutes on the elliptical, and oh God, like I felt like I was about to die. But then week three, you're like, I did 20 minutes on the elliptical and I actually felt really good. I didn't feel like I was dying. That's a progression. And that's what's going to keep you in the game longer. But not only in the game, I want you to understand this, it's going to keep you in the game as a high performer longer. Because the more you do it, the more you realize, yes, what I'm doing is making a difference. What happens is a lot of people go to the gym, a lot of people, and you guys know this, most likely we've all been there. I know I've been there where like, I'm in the best health of my life. And 3 months down the road, I'm like, why am I doing this? I feel like I'm no different than when I was in January. Now, way different than January, trust me, but we don't track it. And when we don't track it and break it into these phases where we can say, yes, accomplish that phase, let's write it down, where I can go back and reference, we lose that ultimate sustainability of our goal. And it doesn't matter what it is. I'm just giving you examples that maybe hopefully you can relate to. So if this helped you, remember, go out there, make everyday education, crush your sales. And if this helped you, check out the podcast, check out the links in the description below. Head over to my resource hub where I give you all sorts of really cool free weekly tools to really help you along your sales journey in logistics. Until next time, my friends, I said it already and I'll say it again. Go out there, every call education, crush your sales.